Hey there, and welcome to San Cabrillo Zoo. This has been my passion project for about the past year at this point, all stemming from my little trip to the San Diego Zoo and Safari Park. I left this place feeling awe-inspired, as you guys can probably tell from my TikToks and stuff like that. So I set out to make a San Diego-inspired zoo with every single motif that they have over there, with my own little leafy spin on it. Recently, I finished the urban jungle retelling of the San Diego Zoo in San Cabrillo Zoo, and I decided to step into the world of Australia, or continent, or country. I really don't know. Since the zoo and safari park both have their own Australian sections, I wanted to combine them both into the ultimate Australian experience. And that's exactly what we're going to be checking out today, along with the other changes to San Cabrillo Zoo. So without further ado, welcome everyone back to San Cabrillo Zoo, and welcome to our Australian section tour. Well, welcome back everyone to San Cabrillo Zoo. So yeah, if you guys aren't up to date with your San Cabrillo Zoo tours, you should definitely go check out our little urban jungle tour. Besides that, we have a lot of awesome new additions in here. So yeah, not really too many new additions in the little grand foyer, I guess. Little main street over here. I have been doing some little decorations here and there, just adding like little planters and stuff like that, just to help keep the area a little bit more lively. Aw, damn it, I forgot to install the mods. It's fine, they'll come back later. Okay, I'm pausing because I can't handle our little Christmas carolers over there. But yeah, if you guys did not check this out, this is our little start to like the treetop trail, which kind of leads into their little primate section at the real San Diego Zoo. But it starts off with a huge waterfowl pond alongside beautiful greater flamingos. I guess I could honestly sneak some of the swans in here, but I'm gonna hold off on that for a bit. As you can see, our keepers are already starting off on a great starting point. They're feeding our little birds over here. And you can see I even gave them little custom uniforms. I was so happy when that feature came out. But yeah, one thing I really wanted to emphasize in the zoo is the use of shade and trees. That's something that really you never notice when you're actually at the San Diego Zoo. But just the fact that you're walking through these forests in the middle of like Southern California, it's really, really awesome. And that's something I really wanted to bring to the table when it came to making this little zoo. I say little, but we're only like 10% of the way done. Another thing I absolutely loved on my trip to San Diego, we were right in the perfect time for the jacaranda trees. All of them were blooming. They're the really beautiful purple flowers. And I really wanted to bring them into Planet Zoo, so I got this off the workshop. I forget by who, but I have a whole bunch of those guys in here just to really represent my trip over there. Now, I really haven't been doing too many changes to our little urban jungle setting, but I do want to show off some of the small things I have added. I did add a whole bunch of Lion's educational signs. He has an incredible modular set. Let's pop over there and check them out. But I've essentially been color coding them to each individual section. Urban Jungle feels a little bit more dated. It has like those little earth tones in there, some nice maroons. And our Australian section is, of course, very vibrant, very colorful. Kind of like a particular platypus we might know and enjoy. But yeah, once you're actually walking through here, you'll notice that we have some signs over here. We have some right over here. We have some right over here. Yada, yada, yada. You guys know the entire deal. I especially love how well it came out in this little corner over here. It just feels so realistic now. It feels so nice. Now, I guess future planning for this area, I'm going to be talking about a little bit of future plans throughout here, but one thing I really want to do in here is actually expand this barn so that you can host like, you know, behind the stage tours in here. I just feel like we have this really awesome interior section that we're not even utilizing to our fullest extent, so that's kind of something I do want to bring to the table once we're actually there, but for the time being, it will simply stay. So I guess this is also a new section? Hell yeah. This is our little bus tour area. So if you guys aren't aware, the San Diego Zoo does have this bus tour that goes through pretty much the entire main thoroughfare throughout the park. It's a really, really awesome experience. You get to see the entire zoo in like 20 minutes or even 30 minutes if it takes a little bit. But you come up here. I still do need to add some stairs so we could actually access the top portion of this, but it's something I really wanted to bring to the table over here and really bring like out because it was just such an awesome experience. I don't know, I just really liked it. This thatch is FlexiColor now, so I believe if I click I and then hold Alt and then click, we should be able to FlexiColor this entire thing. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. So yeah, we're already off to a great start. We could even start doing it with like the rest of this too. This is going to help this area come together so well. Especially because sometimes I'm not really feeling all these bright colors. Sometimes I might want to tone it down a little bit, make it a little bit more industrial, but for the time being, I think I do want to keep that nice bright green color in there. I think it stands out very well. Now, before we do get moving with the rest of this, I do want to show off this little section. These are our Asian gardens. It was just a small little like motif that I really wanted to bring into San Cabrillo Zoo. This was before the Oceania pack came out too, so these are all like custom rope circles, at least custom rope coils at least. But I really wanted to have this section stand out from the rest of the zoo by not really having many real animals, I guess. Not to knock on koi or anything like that, but I don't know, I still wanted this to come out to the best extent possible. I guess my main inspiration for this section are the actual Asian gardens inside the San Diego Zoo itself, but I was also inspired by the Japanese friendship gardens that they have there. If you're ever in San Diego, please get the San Diego Go Pass, because you can do so much stuff for so cheap. It is perfect to see everything. But this is something I really wanted to bring there. They have a whole wide variety of uses for flowing water, and that's something that I really wanted to bring in here. So you can see I used our little waterfall pieces, at least the waterfall splash pieces, to make it look like water is flowing through here, and it just looks so beautiful. I love that big kind of like cascade right over there. Really awesome stuff, and it really comes together so nicely. And of course the rest of the planting in here was super fun to do. I really did enjoy kind of like doing all the aquatics in here too. Look at the beautiful little koi pieces. That's so nice. But yeah, it was just a really awesome way to get all this foliage in here without being bound to a habitat. Especially because any animal that would walk in here would just absolutely rip this up. I do need to fix that little transition right there, but we could ignore that for now. We're getting over here to Australia. I do have plans for this section right here. I didn't want to do it like now because we just got the Eurasian animal pack, so I don't want to show that off immediately, but here we go. Welcome to Australia. I do love lining it up with like the little bus tour over here. It just looks so awesome. Just like the sense of scale you get once you're actually up here, it makes this entire place feel alive. So the jacaranda trees, of course, are right over there, but what I wanted in here was a beautiful weenie. You guys know how I love beautiful weenies, but we have this one right back there. That is a little bit of a clock tower, somewhat based off of the koala habitat in the San Diego Zoo itself, but the wide majority of this section is based off of, can I help you guys? Like, come on. But most of this stuff will be based off of the safari park, especially this opening section. It feels a lot more industrial than anything else, and that's something I really wanted to bring into play over here. These little Aboriginal inspired pillars too are also from the zoo. It's something I was really captivated by, but unfortunately I couldn't get like the animal heads on the top of them. They're kind of like totem poles, kind of not. But it was just a really, really awesome motif, and it brings so much more color to this section. And you guys can even see our little blueprint set right over there, so you guys can get using all of these items that I made in here. But continuing over here, we have this little water tower section right there. But making up this hill over here, we get a look at the Tasmanian devil habitat. So this one functionally is based off of the San Diego Zoo, but motif-wise and kind of vibes is very much based off of the safari park. And again, you can see lion signs right over here. Really, really awesome pieces. So yeah, the main idea I wanted to have in here was nature and humans coexisting. So I really wanted to emphasize all the tropical and like semi-tropical foliage that you can find in Oceania, as well as just emphasizing the rocky terrain that you can get in some of these sections. One of my favorite memories was being able to get up close and personal with the Tasmanian devil while it was sleeping, and that's definitely something I wanted to include in here. So I have this little sleeping section for these guys. It would obviously be like one-way glass, but I don't like how the one-way glass looks in-game. So I have these little glass sections over here so you could actually view the Tasmanian devils. I think I do want to do a little bit more like terraforming inside of this box, but I could save that for later. One of my favorite views in here, though, is this little hillside. You get so many awesome places for the Tasmanian devils to explore, and we can see this guy making his way up the hill right now. Obviously, this habitat does seem a little bit big for these animals, but keep in mind, most of it's covered by foliage, so the only real walkable pieces of this habitat are what you see in the sand. Altogether, though, it comes together so nicely, and you even get a nice little kind of like depth of field effect with this beautiful rock wall back there. I love the technique how I did that. And of course, we can get another view into the lower portion of the habitat right here. And again, this really does go to show the sense of scale that you get again with, like, I don't know, it's just such a wide habitat for these animals to explore. And seeing Tasmanian devils move around is the coolest thing in the world. So popping in here, I call this the update 1.16 room. I unfortunately have not had the time to dabble with the gift shops just yet, or really dabble with the walking controls in here. Oh my gosh, this is awful. But yeah, we have a little gift shop in here. I do want to kind of make it compatible with the guests relatively soon. For the time being, I am using Shift Z's pack because you get a lot more like cohesive details in here. I still like how most of this stuff still looks in modern day. Obviously, the new gift shop items are really freaking good, but I really want to combine both pieces in here just because I love the effect of it. What I also wanted to do in here were custom windows so we could pop over here. Keep in mind I do have autofocus on so we can get like depth of field effects when we're looking at animals, but you could see right into the habitat down below from out here, and I even have some of the vista points in here just to make sure that the guests can make full use of these little areas in here. I don't know, I really do like it. And the skylights just help out so much for natural light in here too. It's really, really awesome. But continuing on right over here, we could pop over here and see the wombat habitat. Unfortunately, I was not able to see the wombat at the San Diego Zoo. Very much a shame, but you know what? It's fine. I saw so many other things. But yeah, I really did love their habitat as well. It's relatively small, which is something I tried to emphasize right over here. But I really do love how this kind of just hugs this little corner right over here. What I really wanted to do in this section was have these habitats feel like they're built into the natural landscape of the San Diego kind of inspired area, and it just really turned out super beautifully, especially for the wombat right here. That's right, buddy, I'm talking about you. But yes, they do have their little burrow that they could use right there, and of course we have some of the signage as well, and this is probably one of my favorite views in the entire zoo so far. It's just being able to look at our koala house right back there. Really awesome stuff, and I can't get over that view. It's just perfect. And unfortunately, again, I really haven't been a big interior guy. I'm hoping that that changes with update 1.16, especially with all these new interior items, but I do want to turn this into like a little bit of a snack shack. I feel like that would be really awesome to have, but we could pop over here and get a view at our little koala habitat. And yeah, eventually this stuff will be filled in with either foliage or another house or something like that. I'm not really sure, but this is where it gets really fun. So for the most part, I really want to stick to kind of like San Diego-esque vibes. But this was a pun I just could not pass up on. So yeah, Koalywood is a California-inspired koala section, and it's just something that I absolutely loved. After all, I do like having a little bit more of a playful look on Planet Zoo. Obviously, I try and make my stuff as realistic as possible, but for the most part, I also like to have a lot of fun. So these koala habitats, they do share it with the quokka in-game. Obviously, quokkas are not found in San Diego Zoo. Obviously, they're not really found anywhere except for like that one zoo in Germany and some zoos in Australia. but it was the Oceania pack. I had to use them. And of course, they made it into San Cabrillo Zoo. But my favorite part of California is the signage. So essentially, I really wanted to have Australian themed posters in here. Kind of like play on words. So instead of castaway, we have castawari. Over here, we have Kill Bilby instead of Kill Bill. We have the Croc Father, which huge shout out to Wyatt Andrews' workshop for this poster. He did most of the billboard pictures that you will see in this little section. And I also have these little Walk of Fame stars, kind of like the Hollywood stars of celebrities, I guess. For koalas that have done an exceptional job at breeding to keep up their species. So yeah, in other words, sex. But I really, really do love these trees over here. You can see that this habitat, again, I try to make it look somewhat industrial while still keeping together that naturalistic motif that we get, especially in that back corner right over there. And you can see we even start to see the next habitat as well. Do we have any of these animals up here? Oh, well, I'll show it off in a bit, but we do have some other quick little puns in here. We have Quokka Tarantino, who did Dingo Untamed. We have our blue-tongued skinks making up the Lizard of Oz. And this is a real terrarium, by the way. It's that 4x4 box, but I shrunk it in half because I'm evil like that. We have Wombat Man Returns, etc., etc. Where are our quokkas? Oh, there they are. Look at the happy little guys. Just the cutest looking animals. Oh my gosh. I'm kind of happy we got them. Still a little upset about no tree kangaroo, but whatever. So this, of course, is our latest habitat. This is the platypus house. And let's pop over here, turn it to night so we could actually see it in all of its glory. And look at that. Listen, I know people don't really like Twilight Pack all that much, but these mushrooms are so good. And I really do think the signage does make this habitat really stand out. I don't know, there's just something about coming into the San Diego Safari Park platypus house, being bombarded with all this awesome information about platypus, and I don't know, it's just such a really cool vibe in there. Now, unfortunately, I'm trying to find a way to get our platypi to deep dive, but it's just not working in-game. But they are able to use the habitat, which is good. You know, this guy's swimming around. He's making his best life. But obviously with the glass, you can't really see the full view of this habitat. So I just want to pop inside the habitat itself and just show this off. This little guy is in the little pool over here. I love that. One of the other things I absolutely love the technique that I kind of came up with is doing this little roofing technique with the Oceania nets and using the tetrastigma vines and the normal ivy to create this really awesome canopy layer. It turned out so good. And I really wanted the rest of the habitat and the rest of like the interior itself to feel very naturalistic. So I made sure to make good use out of like the lava rocks, all the decals that we got in the European pack and all that jazz, and it turned out so well. And obviously if we turn it to day, because unfortunately we don't get like properly night lit interiors, we start to see this beautiful green wall, and it brings us to the Billabong room. In case if you guys don't know, a Billabong is a kind of like hook-shaped lake structure that you can find in Australia that essentially forms when a river cuts off from itself and kind of finds a path of least resistance and leaves that curve of the river on its own, and it creates a little bit of a lake. And from here, I really wanted to have a whole bunch of like different terrariums using these little viewing domes. Again, I'm not really sure what is happening with these because I keep trying to change the color back to this, but it never really does stay. Can we just fix that very quickly? Okay, it's not being very helpful for me. It's not really working, but you know what? That is fine. So yeah, if you don't end up going through the platypus house, you do come along this little kind of like stretch of land over here, and you can look into the beautiful marsupial habitat. Admittedly, I kind of got to cut down on the foliage over here, but if we pop in here, we can see that we do have the red-necked wallaby, and we do have the red kangaroo and an emu in here somewhere. There's our little red kangaroo, and I think our emu is right there. Look at her. She's so gorgeous. But yeah, looking at all this stuff from above, you can see that these habitats just mesh together perfectly well. And I don't know, it just really turned out exactly how I wanted it to. I wanted this entire section to feel like you're looking on an Australian landscape, for the most part. And I think altogether, it really turned out fantastic. But obviously you could see the habitat best from right over here. That's why we have a little signage right here. But you could see right into the habitat. You could see that little bit of a water pool right there. You could see, like, if the koalas actually did climb in the game, you could see them climbing those little trees back there, and you could see the rest of the animals in this little canyon right down here. Really awesome way to have this entire section come together, and I do love this little gum tree forest that we have over here. It's just super beautiful. And then from there, that brings you back to the gift shop, and then you get stuck in the gift shop in explore mode, but it's whatever. Pop back over here, come down this little area, say goodbye to the Tasmanian devils, and then you are back over here in our main plaza. So yeah, my friends, that is it so far. I guess I also have this section right over here. This is just a little bit of like a cafe area. Nothing really too crazy. I do need to work on it a little bit more. As you can tell, it's still a little bit unfinished from like that stuff. But really, what can you do? I have this section in here too, which I do want to convert into like either a gift shop or something, maybe an educational area, but that's really it right there. I still love this little thing right here too. It's just a little bit of like, I don't know, presentation area. Right now I have like little singers, a cappella group or something like that. I don't know. But that is really it so far. I forgot I also did this in here. Again, still very much a work in progress, but I do need to dress this up a bit more, but still really awesome view for your lunch. So yeah, San Cabrillo Zoo is now officially on the workshop yet again. Hopefully I could get it up there by the time this video goes live, but you guys can check it out. Be sure to rate it up. I want to be in front of the workshop page again. I'm not gonna lie. That's my little vein in me talking, but it's a really, really awesome map. I hope you guys get in here, discover all the tiny little secrets in here, and really enjoy it. But yeah, speaking about the future of San Cabrillo Zoo, I'm really not sure what I want to do. The Eurasia Pack honestly threw me a little bit in a loop for this because it really doesn't have many animals that I would really do anything with. At least right now, I do have plans for the Saiga in here. I do have plans for many of the stuff. But for the time being, I'm not really sure what I want to do. I might do the bear grottos and lead myself into like the Asia section. But again, I'm not really sure. So I guess we'll see the next time a San Cabrillo episode goes live. But I do have plans for another DLC zoo in the meantime. I really miss doing like those quick little bite-sized zoos. So we'll be working on that relatively soon. But in the end, I do want to thank you guys for stopping by in the first place. We're going to end it right here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying up to date with your San Cabrillo Zoo. And I can't wait to see you all in the next episode of it. Take care and have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Goodbye now.